welcome to everyone. We will record the webinar, as you could see, because we would like to provide you this content later. So I am Zsolt Pozsvai, the Global Head of Develor International, and I will be your host today. When we kick off this webinar series, actually it was back in 2020 during the COVID and quarantine period. Our aim was to provide valuable professional content for HR experts during this COVID time. However, thanks to the incredible interest, and as you can see, now we have 132 participants. So the continued enthusiasm, we kept it going. And today's session is the 21st. So welcome to our 21st International HR webinar. To enjoy the session, I highly recommend you to set the speaker view. If you go up to the right top corner, you can see the view button, and within that you can choose several options. The best choice is to choose the speaker view. This way you will see the person who is speaking and also the slides, as you can see. And I have to admit that it's fantastic to see that almost 150 people joined again today. This is the second time when we conducted our international L&D Kaleidoscope survey. And I have to tell you, because I know the results already, within one single year, we have seen some very exciting changes in the results and in trends. And of course, there are some things have stayed almost the same. My colleague, Reka Greff, who is here with us, who is the Head of Learning Experience at Develor International, will soon share some key findings, some nice graphs from our recent research. We won't show you the entire survey and the entire report, but later, within 2 weeks, you will have the chance to download the entire report and read further parts. As usual in our webinars, we have invited special guests. This time today, 3 HR leaders who will help us interpret the results, and I requested them to share their personal experiences. But you participants, please feel free to participate actively. Post your thoughts in the chat. You can find the chat button on your screen. And if you have questions, if you have comments, if you have a different opinion than our guests, then don't hesitate to share. So let me introduce you our 3 guests today. First, Abir Zara, who is based in Cairo, Egypt, and during her 28 years of professional experience, Abir has been working with different organizations from the banking sector, FMCG, hospitality, NGOs, and the governmental sector. In the last 20 years, Abir is helping a diverse range of organizations in Egypt and in the Middle East region in restructuring their human resource capabilities. She is currently heading the Talent, Learning and Development Department of one of the leading Arab banks in Egypt. Abir, thank you for accepting my invitation. Our second guest is Laszlo Bajor, who joined us from Hungary and who has already 25 years of HR experience. Since 28, he has been the HR director and global HR business partner at Flex. Maybe some of you know this company from its earlier name, Flextronics, which is one of the global electronics manufacturers with more than 170,000 employees worldwide. He believes HR must have a business mindset to bridge employee satisfaction and financial goals. At Flex, he has been built a result-driven, people-focused, and diverse workplace. Laszlo, thank you for joining us today. And our third guest is Nikolaos Chatzinikolaou. I hope I pronounced your name precisely. The Human Resources Director responsible for the cluster of Greece, Cyprus, Malta, and Israel of Japan Tobacco International. He joined us from Athens, Greece, and he strongly believes that as an HR professional, the first priority is to serve people during the whole employee life cycle. Um, with diverse professional experience from banking, sales and marketing to HR, and from telecommunications and automotive industry to FMCG companies, the most important factor is client people-centric mentality. Nikos, thank you for joining us. So without further talks on my side, I just want to remind the participants, please chat. Please send your thoughts, questions, reflections to what we are presenting and what our guests are referring to those graphs of our L&D survey. And let's start and dive in. I want to start with the topic of change. Okay? So, dear guests, from an HR perspective, what's the biggest change you have noticed in the past, let's say, 1 year, 12 months? Ladies first. If you don't mind, Abir, please start with you.
Yes,
The
sure.
stage is
Thank
yours.
you. Thank you very much for the introduction, Zolt. Thank you for the invitation. I'm very excited to talk on behalf of the Egyptian market and especially the banking industry, to be specific. From my point of view, the biggest change that happened recently is Generation Z joining the workforce, forming most of our workforce for today, and definitely in the near future, there'll be a higher share for them. So I think this entitles a lot of effort to engage them because their level of engagement is considerably very poor compared to older generations. So I think this is the biggest change that we're facing nowadays, whether in Egypt and specifically in the banking industry as well. Thank you.
Considering especially that Egypt is a young nation, especially if we compare it to European countries like ours.
True.
Thank you, Abir. So, Generation Z at the workplace. Laszlo, please share your opinion. What's the biggest change?
Yeah, welcome everybody, and thank you, Short, for the introduction. Just one more thought that currently I'm leading the HR function for the automotive segment at Flex from Mexico till China. So I can oversee the trends in different regions. I can tell you that it's very similar, at least in automotive industry. All of you know that there is a disruption in automotive business, so electrification and all the new trends are hitting the trends big time. That what's going to happen in automotive industry, and there is a lot of competition from China, from US, from everywhere. The geopolitical uncertainties are I think increasing just day by day. Okay, so you can see that and how it's influencing the industry, the tariffs on different regions and different things. So it's just increasing the uncertainty day by day in this market. Sales is not increasing, so I would say in general that we cannot talk about growth in any region in this segment, which is influenced by all the things I mentioned. And of course, I see a change in the labor market. So I think there are more people available on the market. Automotive companies are not really hiring, but stabilizing the workforce. And also there is a change in the labor market or at the companies that companies are calling back to the office the people. So the mix of flexible work and all that things is changing significantly in the manufacturing industry. I can see that there is an increasing demand to call back people to the office, which is also influencing the entire things. And also there is the earlier mentioned generational topic, of course. Yeah.
Thank you, Laszlo. Nikos, what's the biggest change in Greece and in your region?
Yes, good morning from Athens. Good afternoon. Thank you for the invitation to be with you today. I don't want to overlap the colleagues because, okay, we have more or less the same changes and challenges. I would say as a general comment that the workplace is evolving so rapidly, and I will focus new skills that are required. So attention spans are shorter, digital transformation is reshaping how we learn. So if I must choose one change that practically had the biggest influence on HR, this would be the need of upskilling and reskilling our people. So the last years we've entered a new era where we have to be super flexible and agile. I will mention here that according to the World Economic Forum, the workers expect that the 2/5 of their existing skills will be transformed or become outdated till 2030. If we take a moment and think of that, it's a huge change. So more specifically in our industry, the tobacco industry, the products are heading from the classic, let's say, cigarettes to reduced risk products, where it's obvious that we should reskill and upskill our people, digital competencies, AI fundamentals, and some soft skills that are equal.
Thank you. So Abir mentioned Generation Z. Nikos mentioned upskilling, reskilling. Laszlo mentioned several things: disruption, geopolitics, flexible working forms, and call back to the office, which is a new trend. But besides these, what are your current, let's say, top 2, top 3 HR priorities? Can we start with you, Abir, first, in the same order as you answered? So top 2, 3 HR priorities. I'm asking you because we also had this question in our survey, and after your answers, Reka will also show you what our respondents answered.
Okay. Based on the biggest change I have noticed lately, which is the engagement of the Generation Z or the lack of engagement, I think what we are facing as what we are setting as major priorities in HR would be talent attraction, talent retention, because as my colleague here said, we need to upskill and reskill our employees. So if we don't retain them, we cannot upskill or reskill our people to cope with the digitalization and the new transformation within the products, within the technologies we're using in the banking sector. So I think talent attraction and talent retention would be on top of the HR priorities to be able later on to upskill and reskill, as my colleague said earlier.
Thank you. Laszlo, for you?
Yeah, I join to these thoughts that basically I would put more focus on retention. We need to select the top 20% of the organization who will drive the changes. There will be a lot of changes coming from the technology or AI or whatever you call it, and that top 20 will drive the changes. Okay, and we need to focus on that part, that those people are staying, they are motivated, and able to lead the changes. The second subject is cost. There is a tremendous pressure in the automotive industry to reduce the cost and make affordable electric cars for the market. So cost.
Laszlo, you are responsible for, as you said, for a global region, let's say, so the entire world from Mexico to China. This cost awareness is the same in Europe and also in Mexico or China?
Everywhere. It's the same subject everywhere. It's the same topic. Huge pressure from the customers. There is a huge competition. You may know that the Chinese car makers are really disrupting the market. So the traditional car makers are facing a competition which was never before. Okay, and there is the technological change and the cost pressure on the market. So this is a big one in automotive. Yes.
I see. Thank you. Nikos, what are your top 2, 3 priorities besides upskilling, reskilling? I assume it's one of them.
Yeah. Of course, I would like to make a comment here that HR should be an equal business partner as the rest of the functions. So sometimes, they call us romantics. We are the romantics because sometimes we act as, from the book of Cervantes, Don Quixote. So HR should have as major priority to do a proper need analysis, to be an equal business partner. So from this perspective, I would say for our cluster, I would say, of course, learning and empowering people, succession planning and having talent pipeline, building trust and psychological safety, offer flexible and inclusive benefits is something important, and last but not least, not to forget, to have fun. So just like that, to our business, our daily business to have fun for us.
Thank you very much. Someone from the Mediterranean region maybe should mention this. Thank you, especially from here, from Central Europe. As I am checking the chat window, I see lots of countries are represented: Uzbekistan, Azerbaijan, Georgia, UK, Saudi Arabia, Greece, Hungary, Czech Republic, Poland, Slovenia, sunny Slovenia especially. What else I did not mention? Egypt, Armenia. So it's great. Actually, in our international survey, we covered 24 countries. And now I would like to give the stage to Reka Greff, to introduce you shortly the survey, set up what we were looking for, and afterwards, please answer 2 questions. First is, what is the answer to the question of top HR hire priorities? And the second is, what are the top training topics according to our respondents? The stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Zsolt. And as you mentioned, this is the second time we are running this survey. So we started that last year. And the basic and most essential goal of this survey is to provide insights for HR and L&D professionals about trends, priorities, hot topics, issues, and with covering a wide geographical area, so in Europe, Middle East, and Central Asia as well. So this is the goal of the survey, and it will be presented to you in a report. We call it L&D Kaleidoscope, so referring to the colorful and dynamic and diverse nature of our profession, so the learning and development area. And just a bit of technical details about the survey. We run it between November and February this year. And here again, as Zsolt mentioned, we could cover 24 countries throughout this region. So several countries participated, and our respondents are coming from 24 countries. We received over 1,770 responses. So it means that it is I consider that a really representative report and result. And in terms of the methodology, we had the online survey as the quantitative part of the report, but we completed that with qualitative, in-depth interviews. So thereby, it contains a very comprehensive and thorough and in-depth information of the trends and hot topics in L&D. In terms of the respondent company size, as you see here, it's a very balanced company size. So approximately, the same amount of respondents arrived from small and medium companies, a bit more from the large, but still, as you can see, the respondents ratio is really balanced. And in terms of the industry as well, as you see, we received many information from very a great variety of industries. So again, it highlights that all who participated could have their added value and represented in this survey. So let's get started and have a look at the results, at least in our first two topics. The first one is the top strategic priorities for 2025. Among the respondents, they could have 3 votes maximum. So in terms of this question, they could have and could highlight the top 3 priorities. And what you can see here is that leadership development was ranked on the first place. What I recalled from our guests, and what I also experienced, that leadership has a crucial strategic importance, especially nowadays, in leading changes, organizational transformation, keeping talent in the organization. So it's not a surprise that it was ranked first. The second is employee engagement and retention, the winner of last year's survey. So it was slipped down to second place, but it's equally important. Our guest mentioned that it's still an issue to keep talent at the company, especially, as Abir mentioned, with the lower engagement level of Gen Z colleagues. So employee engagement and retention is still there. And what was probably not a surprise, that digitalization and AI, artificial intelligence, has arrived to the third place. Last year it was around, in the middle range, 6th place, if I remember. But no doubt that AI is here, and we have to deal with that, have to decide what to do and how to use AI. Let me not just not jump too far ahead to the later part of this webinar, but it is an issue, and we have to do something about that. In terms of the middle part of the scale, let me refer to upskilling and reskilling that Nikos mentioned, and also talent recruitment here. Yes, based on the research of the World Economic Forum, by 2030, like 40% approximately of the skills that we use today will be obsolete. So this is still a priority and will stay with us, considering all the changes that are around us. Okay, so that's not a surprise here. If you look at the last part, or the lower part of the scale, it seems that the 4-day work week, even though several companies tried it, started to experiment with that, is still not a hot topic. Neither is the eco-friendliness and building that type of culture, to my greatest regret, to be honest. But it seems that it's not as important to our L&D and HR respondents. So if we just highlight the differences compared to last year, so in this chart with the purple lines, you can see this year's result compared to the green ones, which represent last year. So here again, I'm just highlighting the most important, most significant changes. Leadership development, digitalization, AI, and company culture, organizational transformation are those ones who improved or stepped further, raised in the ranking most significantly. And again, just the thought that our guest mentioned organizational, cultural restructuring and changes and so on. I have a feeling, of course, it's just a gut feeling, that even the arrival of AI has something to do with that, apart from, of course, the changes in the economy and the world. And what was, dropped a bit, or dropped more significantly, is talent recruitment. I would not say that it is not important. Maybe that the reason behind that is that the workforce is kind of balanced. The shortage of the workforce is probably, hopefully, not that big issue compared to keeping those talents, compared to retention of talents. So this is about the top strategic priorities. And let's have a look also onto the most important hot topics in 2025 and 2024, comparison to 2024. AI is here, ladies and gentlemen, no doubt, not only in our report, but in other surveys. It's absolutely jumping to the top, to the first place in our ranking. So digital mindset, artificial intelligence is a hot topic. Also in terms of training of employees, implementing AI-related changes or processes in the company. The second in this year's ranking is resilience, stress management, well-being. That was our first last year. So a little drop here, but still of crucial importance. The mental health and well-being of the population and also the workforce requires some support, requires some help. And also related what Abir said, that Gen Z is one of the most mental health conscious generation. If they arrive to our company, we have to pay attention to them and pay attention to their needs to keep them at the company. And leadership fundamentals, adaptive leadership, again, no surprise, as leadership development and leadership in general was a top priority in terms of strategical point of view as well. So in terms of skill development, no matter whether we are focusing on just, promoted leaders with the fundamentals or more advanced leaders, it is of crucial importance. And one more thing that I would like to highlight, actually two, because the growth mindset is also in the top 5. So I believe that it's, again, not a surprise that in case of any learning and development initiative or change initiative, having the proper mindset is a must. This is one of the most popular courses or solutions we are requested from our clients as well to improve the mindset first before we start any change. And as I mentioned at the previous slide, that to my greatest regret, green mindset or ESG or sustainability types of topics are not that important, not yet important. Yet again, this is my hope that this topic will raise in the ranking in the upcoming years. And the little comparison here again. Purple is this year, green is last year. So AI, it's like almost 50% increase, as you can see here. Resilience, stress management is also on top, and the leadership topics are growing in terms of their importance and requiredness in this year as well. So these are the survey results. This is what our over 1,700 respondents gave us about the hot topics and the strategic priorities of this year.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you, Reka. Soon you will return with some further results. Just one comment from my side. I'm a bit sad about green mindset and the importance of the topic ESG. Probably we still just talk about it and we do less in this topic. Maybe next year we will have higher results. Actually, this was our promise and hope last year as well. Nothing really changed, but we will see. So thank you, Reka. Our survey revealed one thing sure, that AI usage has become the most popular training topic and the use of AI is strategically important. I have seen also in the chat that you also mentioned AI as a hot topic. Dear guests, and now start from Nikos backwards. What are your thoughts on AI in your company, in AI, in HR, in learning and development, or just generally the use of AI tools? What about Japan Tobacco?
Yeah, it's very important, and I'm glad to see all these results because, of course, AI is one of the most hot trends, let's say. We are also one of the companies that we are experimenting with AI applications in different aspects. of daily business. I will speak from HR perspective. First of all, we are just building a tool called Chat JTI. So it's a paraphrase of ChatGPT, of course, where every employee will have a chance to interact on various HR topics, such as labor law, compensation and benefits, learning and development, and other relevant categories. On top, we began with the screening of CVs with AI. So it's something that had great success, and it helped us a lot to reduce the time to hire metrics and KPIs. I must admit that some weeks before, we launched also a new functionality in our platform, SuccessFactors, where you can enter the skill that you want to develop, and the AI assistant provides you some alternatives regarding how the measures and how effective will be the measure that you will decide to follow. So in general, let's say, progressively, we leverage the power of AI, but in combination with the intellectuality of humans.
Thank you. Laszlo.
Okay, I would divide into two parts. One is where we are and the training. So the first one is that the priority is in our company to have a strategy of usage of AI in the engineering and the IT field. So those people are using more and more in those areas, in data analytics, in programming, in a lot of areas. HR is not on the top one priority, or finance, or other departments. So in those areas, we are in the early stage to implement AI strategy at the company, that how we use that, in which areas, etc. The second part of the things, that there is an increasing demand from the employees to learn about AI. Okay, so we organized in HR, in finance, in different functions, that what is AI in general. Okay, so people need to get more information. You know, some of them is afraid of that, and there are different things in there that how it's impacting on the lives. So I think we have a role as HR to educate the people that what is the right way of using HR, encourage them to start to use it, and start to learn to use it. And as the company improving the AI strategy, they can connect to that.
Thank you. Abir, what's the case?
I can't agree more with my colleagues. However, the point within the banking industry would be psychologically securing employees, because employees are a bit fearful from AI, while we try to educate them within the banking industry that the human factor is not inevitable. When you rely on AI, you just accelerate the daily tasks or the operational tasks, forecasting tasks, maybe selection, some of the onboarding process for employees, but you cannot get rid of all the employees and rely on AI. So the employees has to embrace the new technology, and this would be, from my own point of view, the hardest part for people to embrace AI, not to be fearful of their job security because of AI. So if we can do this, I think we will accelerate the process of using AI and enhancing the business using the technology of AI.
Thank you. I fully agree. AI mindset comes first, and only afterwards, if people are open for it, we can develop skills, and then it can support the implementation and the integration of AI tools in the daily life.
Especially in our industry, in the banking industry, we cannot rely on free tools. We need secured tools. It will entitle a lot of investment. So if the human factor does not embrace the tools, this is a lost opportunity, and this is a big loss for the investment that has been invested in the secure tools of AI. So that's why the human factor has to embrace the new technology to increase the efficiency of its use.
Agree. Thank you, Abir, to add this. Now, I would like to ask our audience to participate in a short poll questionnaire, actually just one question, what we prepared for you. You can see 4 answers. I ask my colleagues to start the poll. And actually, the question you can see here, where does your company stand in AI adaptation? It's already being used effectively, not by individuals, but somehow within the company in an integrated way, or you are not using it yet, second option, but it's in your plans. You have concrete plans for that. Option number 3, you plan it, but no concrete plans yet. And the final thing is, we don't plan to use AI in the next 3 years. So please click 1.
The
I'm
answers
still
are
waiting
coming.
because we have 170 people. Yeah,
Yes.
sorry, someone
The answers
said
are coming, yes. So let's.
Okay, now I think you can see the questions.
Yes, 60%
Please
of
pick
our
one.
participants voting. And the
We
answers
have
are still
now
coming. Okay, it seems that the votes have slowed down. Oh, no, they are still coming, sorry.
we have more than 170 participants here,
Yes,
so it takes some time.
70%.
Okay,
70%.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So we close the poll. Let's see the results. Please share with us. Okay, wow, almost 60%. AI is already being used effectively. Great. And the second one is we would like to use it, but there is no concrete plan, 23%. We are not using it yet, but it's in our plans. It's 21. So it's great results. And nobody voted that you don't plan to use it. Good to hear. I'm happy to hear. Okay, please close the results. Actually, it refers to our survey results as well, because we had a question about the current use of AI in the companies. And Reka, let's see what the 1,772 people responded to this question.
Thank you, Jolt. So here are the results about the use of AI in L&D from our respondents. So can be surprising, to be honest, or reflecting mostly what our audience voted for. So what we see here is that 30% of the respondents said that they are already using it. Probably they are early adapters or part of the industry or the company when AI is already in use. And also what we also see and hear from learning and development partners and clients is that they started to use it for data-driven decisions, automatizing or making the creation of learning and development content easier, automations, and so on. So this is the part where actually we hear that it's being used already. Now, the other part is that, again, close to 30%, 29.7% says that they plan to use that. So it means that even though it is a hot topic, as you mentioned, there can be certain aspects or questions which, make the decision makers a bit more cautious about that. You mentioned IT security. In case of banking industry, I believe that is of crucial importance. Data security, the data of the picture, know-how, and several other factors that could be or should be considered really thoroughly and wisely before launching any any AI transformation. Because I believe that this is our experience, that on an individual level, using some kind of simpler generative AI tool to support my work, it's probably easy. But when it comes to launching something on the company level or even just L&D level, which requires some process redesign or changing of processes and so on, yeah, it takes time to adapt to that, not to mention the mindset of the people related to AI usage that our guest mentioned. And there were also respondents, 37%, who said that it's interesting, but no plans so far. So these respondents probably are, still in the, waiting type of state to see what AI can be used for and how they can leverage the usage of it. And yes, only a very, very small percent or ratio said that we are against the use of AI. Again, then can be pros and cons related to AI, but still what it shows that yes, AI is in the mindset, it's in the buzz. Companies are thinking about it and trying to figure out how to use it best. And not just our survey, but other surveys show very similar results. So what I brought to you as as just the another insight here is the results of the hot topics from the Global Sentiment Survey in 2025, which shows in the graph that they asked their respondents to vote for the top hot topics, and also they compared it with how AI importance or popularity is ranked compared to the top. And what you see here is that there is a significant date here, 2023. This is when ChatGPT started its journey to the moon in terms of popularity and success, and it has an impact. So this was probably a breaking point in AI usage in our lives and how we can all leverage that. So yes, AI is a topic, and I'm sure that more and more companies will discover how they can leverage AI, how is it safe to use AI, and how they can support their colleagues to build that new mindset, new mentality to treat AI as a support, another threat to their jobs and to their security. So I'm honestly absolutely fascinated about that and interested in how these results will look this time next year, how the ratio of AI users will change this time next year.
Thank you, Reka. Based on these results, it's not a surprise that AI mindset and AI in sales courses became one of the top 5 topics of the Develor portfolio recently, back in 2024 and 2025. If you want to learn more about the AI and the use of AI, read our report. It will be out soon. So let's move on to the second hot topic. Leadership was mentioned several times, also as a HR priority, also as a top L&D topic. Before we reveal the survey findings on the most important leadership competencies, because we were asking about it as well, our respondents, I would like to hear your thoughts, dear guests. First, what are the challenges you see your leaders facing today, and have these challenges, due to any factor, changed significantly in the past years? Who would like to start? Laszlo, let's start with you now. So what's your opinion? What about the challenges leaders face? And please unmute yourself. Thank you.
Yes, I have it. Okay, thank you very much. So the challenges are connected to the market situation in the automotive market. So increasing pressure from the market, which is forcing the organizations to be faster, more flexible, and adopt the changes even faster. So they need to drive changes, and change management is a hot topic. How they handle it, how they manage the people, how they eliminate different threats in the mind of people, and all those things around change management. Okay, so this is the hot topic. And upskilling people, so they need to adopt the new technologies, they need to understand the consequences of that, and then they need to help their people to learn about that and adapt to that.
Thank you, Laszlo. Nikos, what's your
Yes.
opinion? What are the challenges currently for leaders?
People leaders, especially the middle-level management, let's say, I think, and we in the company think, are the most crucial. Let's say they are the backbone of the organization. So for us, the vision is to prepare a management team where the leaders act and will be career coaches. So our intention is to have a leadership team who speak with their people, understand their needs and their career aspirations, and guide them through the right path. So in order to be, in the same time, efficient, but also satisfied. Of course, it's something that changed from the past years because all this disruptive environment, this VUCA environment, as we say, changed from past years. And moreover, as we discussed in the call, I said before, the multi-generational cooperation changed all this environment. So it's more crucial than it was before to empower this backbone of the organization.
Thank you, Nikos. Abir, what's your opinion? What's your experience?
From my own point of view within the industry in our region, I think the most biggest challenges leaders are facing are economical ambiguity as well as technological advancement. And this entitles some skills to be able to cope with both challenges. Let me say how to deal with uncertainty and managing within agile mode, and the digital first mindset to be able to cope with the technological advancement as a challenge for leaders. And as Nicholas said, he verbalized it very well, the middle managers are the backbone of the company. So it goes from upward, downward, up to the level of mid-managers to cover leadership in any organization, from my own point of view.
Thank you. So there are some similar points, there are some different points in your opinion. Let's see what's the opinion of our participants here today. One more poll. Reka, please help me in this. So let's do a poll about the most important leadership competencies. I hope you already see on your screen the list of leadership competencies, and you can choose this time not only one, but even three. 1, 2, 3, as you wish. What do you see as the most important leadership competencies today and in the close future? You can choose one from the list, from motivation and engagement to critical thinking at the end of the list. Also, our guests can vote. In the meantime, but not now, after we close the poll, I would like to ask three of you just mention the very most important leadership competence, if you can choose only one. Not yet. Wait a minute. Okay, 5, 4, 3, last votes. Hurry up.
50, we are over 50%, closing up. Hurry up. Yeah.
Okay, hurry up.
60%, really cool. Okay. Now Zsolt, come back.
Okay,
from 5.
now we close. Now we
Okay.
close. Before you show the results to everyone, I would like to ask three of you, what is your number one? Abir, what is your number one? I know choosing one is more difficult than three, but what is yours? Please unmute yourself.
Well, it was the digital transformation. I don't remember the term exactly, but the part has been digital.
So being able to support and drive digital transformation or digital upskilling of people. Laszlo, what is yours? If you can choose only one.
Yeah, it's also connected to the change. So I would say leading change or change management. I don't know how
Change
you
or adaptability or change management.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Nikos, what is yours?
It's close. Flexibility, agility, I would say.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's see, Reka, what are the results based on this mini survey with 166 participants? And as I see, the number one is motivation and engagement of staff. Not a big surprise because engagement was mentioned and retention was mentioned many times. Developing others, talent management, the second, and agility, adaptability to change or change management or transformational skills are the number three. And I just want to check what's the last one, the lowest. It's probably delegation and performance management. It's good. So no more need for performance management, or of course it doesn't mean that, just lower priority, and critical thinking is also only 12%. So great. Let's see the comparison to the survey results. Reka, the stage is yours again. Please show us which are the most important leadership competencies according to 24 countries, HR leaders, and L&D leaders.
Yes, so it's the results are really similar to this short poll.
It's valid, no question.
Yeah, absolutely valid. So yes, motivation and engagement is on top. Yes, it's really closely related to several of the hot topics in terms of retention, in terms of talent development, in terms of Gen Z topics. So I'm not surprised by this result. Developing others, talent management, and agility, adapting to change. Again, everything is changing around us. So here again is no surprise that leaders need to be adaptable and then manage and guide the colleagues through the honestly constant changes that around us. And also, what is not even though it's not in the top three, but giving feedback and team collaboration and trust is of high importance. Again, because the younger generations, the colleagues who join the company require even more feedback, constant feedback, and the feeling of trust and involvement and the inclusion. And in other surveys and in last year's survey, it also came out that this kind of human-centered leadership is more and more important. So any competencies which are related to this connection to people, building trust, building psychological safety, guiding people through the change is important. And if we look at the lower part of the list, supporting innovation, creativity, critical thinking, it's maybe just compared to the other competencies, I would not say that they are not important at all. But as you all mentioned, given the circumstances that most companies face nowadays, the motivation and agility and change management are more important. So again, these two are corresponding, the poll results and what our respondents said in the survey about leadership competences.
Today, this is the snapshot, what we can show you. But as I already mentioned, read the report later for more insight. And let's move to the other topic, the next one. And actually, I still have 3 questions to our guests, and we will show you 3 further graphs. The first one is about another topic, which is about the length of the training and what's the trend. So how long training programs are popular, the longer ones, the shorter ones? Reka, please show us the results, and afterwards I will turn to our guests for some comments.
Yes, so in terms of the length of training courses, like instructor-led training courses, no matter whether it's online or classroom training, the results that came out this year are really similar to last year. So what is visible here is that the one-day training, where it's almost 50% a ratio, seems to be the most popular, most frequently organized in the company. So if you remember, compared to the earlier trend of like 2-day or even 3-day courses, especially after COVID, especially considering the narrowing attention span, I'm not surprised that there is a shortening of the instructor-led training courses. So one day seems to be most popular, but also half-day training. And honestly, to my surprise, even the 60-90-minute online training courses are frequently used or preferred and organized. So what does that mean? So it means that companies try to figure out the best length, best scenario. So what is the ideal length in terms of causing the least disruption in the life of the colleagues? So taking them out for the necessary amount of time, yet not losing the impact of the learning. Okay, so the shorter the learning event is, it should be more concise, more to the point. It cannot cover many topics because otherwise the impact will be lost. So again, this is kind of like what I sense is the experimenting, how to adapt to the learner requirements and the preferences of the learners in terms of time spent out of work versus the impact of the learning event. So shortening time, and also if you look at this 60-90-minute online trainings, they can be used as well for concise learning, for supporting even the a bit longer classroom or online classes. So they all have the relevance. The question is how we mix them and how we use them for the benefit of our learners.
We understand the need, we understand the trend. We just want to remind everyone that training impact comes first. So how to reach it with shortening length? It's a good question. I'm asking our guests, and please keep the slide, Reka.
Okay.
I'm asking our guests that please comment on these results. Do you see similar preferences in your companies? Do you think the trend towards shorter training session will continue in the future? So what is your opinion, please? And anyone can start.
I can begin with this. Totally agree, 100% with this trend. You know, it comes from every day we have a tsunami of information coming from different sources. We have chat, we have WhatsApp, Viber. We have a lot of information that is coming. So we need something, a blended learning, something that keeps the learning curve and boosts all of this from with small bites of learning. So I totally agree, not only for the company, the cluster here, but me personally. So I think it's a trend that it will continue.
Thank you. Laszlo?
Yes, thank you. I agree with the trend. Back to early my career, I remember trainings were 3 to 5 days out of the town. This is not happening anymore, I think. So trainings became short and more efficient and really to the point type of trainings. People are changing. It's not just because the companies want this, but people are changing, not just because the COVID, but generational changes, and a lot of things happened in the last 20 years or so. People don't want to go away for a week. They want to have development opportunities, but short. If it's possible, they don't want to go away, so they want to have training on site or in the town, and they don't want to go somewhere to get these trainings. So yes, definitely short-term trainings. Very popular is modular trainings that you have like 3 days in total, but you divide by half-day trainings and you have the modules. Which is one other trend is that there is the theoretical part, but the practical part, and the practical part is increasing compared to the theoretical part. So on the job type of trainings, really practical things that when you experience and practice certain things, and you don't want to spend hours on the theory. These are the main things, and we are using more and more online and e-learning tools. So it's a mix of personal training and using other technologies or opportunities to that. Online trainings and e-learnings are the type of 60 to 90 minutes training. So you cannot ask people to stay half day in an online trainings, or it's not general. Let's put it in this way.
Thank you, Laszlo. Abir, what is
Well,
your view?
I can't agree more with my colleagues. Definitely, bite-sized learning portions are more preferred, especially when it comes to technical courses and even behavioral ones. It can be chopped into smaller modules to be covered in interval times, so people can spare their time and be focused within the learning process. Also, as much as we go up in the hierarchy, there is difficulty that people spare time for the learning. So it goes this way. If I am from the C level or the top management level, I cannot go out for 2 or 3 days for training. It has to be very short, very crisp, very concise, so I can leave my work and go attend the training course. However, it has to be very well managed by the trainer who leads the learning process, and maybe a lot of preparation for pre-course assignment, for post-course. And of course, the blended solutions are very adequate for this time, meaning you can do some e-learning prior to the course, some assignment after the course, maybe coaching sessions virtually after the session, and so on. So it has to be chopped up, not to be very heavy portion on the participants. Yes, I definitely agree with these numbers of the survey.
So we have to say goodbye forever to the 3 to 5 days long classroom courses somewhere in the countryside in a beautiful hotel environment with long nights between the learning days. This is the reality, I understand, but you all mentioned learning journeys, blended learning, to make the training as efficient and as impactful as possible. And there is a tool set, let's say so, which should have a much bigger impact in the future than before. And it's not a big surprise that it's very popular. I would like to ask Reka to show the results to the question, what kind of so-called asynchronic tools the companies use. Here, every respondent had the option to choose not only one, but maximum 3 options from the list what we provided, and you can see the results. Reka, maybe a one-sentence definition for asynchronic tools, if it's not that obvious for everyone here today.
Just to put it very simply, anything that happens without the trainer, asynchronously, without the support of a trainer or a coach, independently, anytime, anywhere, the learners prefer. So this is what we call asynchronous, and it is really closely linked to blended learning. So blended learning can mean online and offline training courses with the trainer, but also synchronic, so with the trainer, and asynchronic tools. And it totally corresponds to what was mentioned as a need that people would like to have like shorter bite-size contents available for them even during their work, quickly, shortly. And as you see here with the results is more like audiovisual contents instead of the text-based or contents that requires much reading. So very similarly to last year, online learning and e-learning are the most popular types of asynchronic learning content. By online learning, we mean those learning platforms or educational platforms like Coursera or Udemy, for example. They became more and more popular because on the one hand, they can provide a great variety of different courses available for employees. And we know many of our clients have subscriptions for these platforms. The question is always how efficient this type of learning is, because again, several studies already show that the completion rate of these courses that participants or learners have rolled in is very low, around 15%, even lower. So again, the opportunity is there and it is great and a good tool. The question is how this knowledge will be utilized and implemented if by any chance it's not supported with any implementation support or by the manager or something that ensures that this knowledge is utilized. E-learning content is there. More and more companies provide not the old type of boring e-learnings, but also the interactive, more exciting types of e-learning materials. Video content is still very popular. It was in last year's survey as well. And in terms of the fourth and fifth place mobile application podcast, again, these are popular. Mobile application usage is increasing. Maybe, I cannot tell, but maybe because again, the tech-savvy young generations prefer that. It's very comfortable. Everybody's living with their mobile, so it's not a surprise. So audiovisual content, online learning is popular, and newsletters, ebooks, so text-based contents are losing their popularity compared to whatever is more audiovisual or just simply visual.
Still, we don't give up. We will produce further ebooks and we'll share it with you in different topics. As you could see earlier, we have an ebook about the future of sales with how to use AI in sales. Now the next ebook, what we will release soon, will be about mental health and mental health approaches, tools, ideas, and suggestions. So guests, what is your opinion about these tools and what do you use and what is your experience with those tools, what you use? Positive experience, even if you have some negative experiences, please share. Laszlo, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Yes, I agree with this, that we have positive experience with online trainings, but we are in manufacturing companies, especially in engineering, so we still keep the personal trainings, or how you call it. So it's blended both. We have a lot of e-learning content. I don't know the efficiency of that. Okay, so we use a lot. People are passing the training at the end, but how much they implement in the daily life, we can't measure it. So I would
Laszlo, do you use e-learning for soft skills as well, or mainly for technical skills?
Both. So yeah, online training is good.
Okay, let's continue with Nikos.
Yeah, okay. The asynchronous tool, because asynchronous means it has to do with timing. So the period of COVID, something that changed was the ratio between business and private life. So this time. So with the asynchronous learning, that's why it's very popular. All of this gives us the opportunity to adapt different styles. So it's very important. Of course, we use most of them. Okay, the first three categories, of course, we mainly use them, but they are very important because, you know, different styles. I learn better for 20 minutes during my break or during the night, or so it adapts to this. Of course, we lose the effectiveness, but on the other hand, we push for the long life learning. So it's very important.
Thank you, Nikos. Abir?
Actually, we have very good, fruitful experiences on three of the methods mentioned: the online learning, the e-learning, as well as the computer simulations. The online learning, we usually use platforms, as you mentioned, Coursera, Udemy, and we have another platform very successful for AI and data management, which is called DataCamp. It's very beneficial. The e-learning content are usually covering for us technical courses, especially the mandates by our Central Bank of Egypt, which is a very good regulator and requires a lot of learning. So we cover these using e-learning content because it's very cost efficient, and it covers 100% of our employees in a very concise time span and very low cost. Last but not least, the computer simulations, we use it in the training room, meaning that we get vendors that use the computer simulations, and employees and managers do it in groups within the training groups. So I think this is more like a blended learning where we blend the computer simulation within the classroom led instructor workshop or simulation.
Sounds interesting. Thank you very much.
Are very successful with us, yes.
I see. Okay, so we arrived to my very last question to all of you. Looking ahead, where do you think HR and L&D will be in, let's say, 3 years? What major changes do you expect? What trends you think will continue or stop? And I would like to ask Nikos to start with this answer, then Abir, and we will complete this round with Laszlo. Nikos.
Perfect. Yes, thank you. First of all, I think HR and L&D will follow, as we saw, the general technological trends. So if I envision something that, for me, I will give an example how I see the future, the next years. So I envision to have an AI consultant where you give some details. For example, let's go to L&D and say, you give some skills, the profile of yourself, the learning preferences, so available time, I have 20 minutes, I have 10 minutes, when the period that you want to learn, and the tool will schedule, will prepare for you a fully personalized learning plan with a blended mix of learning bites. So I envision something like that. It would be very, very successful. So in parallel, I think all this HR and learning and development game will go to a self-service culture, a long life, let's say, mentality, and growth, as we saw, mentality, because people should be accountable and free to choose how, when, where to learn and develop themselves. So I think this is the direction for the next few years.
Self-service culture. Yes, we need accountable people with growth mindset for sure. For that, Abir, what's your view about the close future?
Well, I see learning as a partner in the strategic planning for any organization, especially with new technology evolutions like AI. it needs a lot of awareness and a lot of knowledge, and as well, like we mentioned before, embracing for the AI. So I see learning as a partner on the strategic level. I also see smaller bites of learning where we blend everything together. I think mobile apps should be available now for bite-sized learning more than before. For example, now you can ask AI on your WhatsApp on Meta. If you ask Meta what is conflict management strategies, he is going to give you like a quick conflict management course content in few seconds. So I think we should use mobile apps more. It's very, it's available. It's on everybody's hand. It saves time and effort and energy. So this is where I can see the learning and development within the future.
Thank you, Abir. Very interesting. Strategic partnership, I think it's improved significantly since COVID, but still there's a space for further improvement. And Laszlo, what's your view on the next 3 years and HR?
Yeah, you just mentioned it, but I like the thoughts from Nikos that this self-development, this positive mindset. So people need to take care of themselves more and more. Okay, so for example, in our company, when we are assessing talents, talent is who's going for the grow. Okay, if you need to push someone that please go there, please do this, it's not a talent for me. Real talents are eager to grow, and they want to grow, and they take care of their career themselves as well. This is my definition for the talent. Probably it's a little bit tough, but this is how I see that. I would talk about rather HR organization that we are on the way to get closer to the business, but we are not there. This is my view in each region. So HR need to understand better the business. They need to be closer to the business. They need to be more in the advisory role and support, not just support, but part of leading the change. Okay, so this requires a lot of knowledge from the HR organization, business, financials, market, technology, a lot of things from HR. That if we want to become a more strategic partner, then we need to do all that more and more.
Thank you very much. I learned talents can be talents only if they are self-driven and eager to learn. So they can use the self-service culture later. Thank you. 3 years from now, we will revisit these predictions and see who was right. I made notes. We will create a summary of this webinar, so you will receive it. And that's it for today, dear ladies and gentlemen, from United Kingdom to Riyadh, from Uzbekistan to Slovenia, from Czech Republic to Egypt. Our L&D Kaleidoscope report will be ready within latest 2 weeks in early April, and will be shared with everyone who participated in the survey, of course. It will be also available for download for those who didn't provide us their email addresses. So anyone from the today's session can download the report. As I told you, there are much more topics. For example, we are talking about the change of L&D budget. Might be interesting. Laszlo mentioned cost. Probably we will see it in the trend in terms of growing or decreasing training budget. We will talk in the report also about the distribution between online and offline training courses, and also about the role of internal trainers and many more. So it will be worth reading, downloading, and sharing also with your other HR colleagues. Thank you for joining us. This was planned for today, but we look forward to seeing you at our next local events. What you can see on this slide, you can approach us, Develor International. You can approach the local Develor offices. in all the countries what you are representing, and please join our local events and of course follow us. And one more thing here at the end. Thank you for those 137 people who still with us. It's a great number. That we look forward to seeing you at our next international webinar, which will be on the 21st of May, 11 a.m. Central European Time. You will receive the information about the topic. It will be important and it will be just as relevant as the today discussion. Dear Abir, Laszlo, and Nikos, thank you for joining us. Dear everyone, thank you for joining us. See you soon. Contact us if you have further questions. We recorded, we summarized this session, and we'll share it with you all. Thank you.